What? Knappogue?
Knappogue.
Knappogue? See what this is here.
Knappogue.
That's not it. That's how you speak cat. Sheep.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Whiskey Dictionary. Tonight, I'm going to be talking to you about Knappogue Castle 12.
Knappogue?
This is a special Irish whiskey that I have been looking.
I don't give a shit about what you think about it, buddy.
Knappogue.
Whoops. Once again, I go misspelling palette.
It's not a painter's palette. It's not a wooden skid.
Right.
It's the roof of your mouth.
That's what... That's weird. I don't know why I did that. I feel weird about it. I'm going to rearrange things until I feel better. I'm looking forward to trying this. What do we call it? Knappogue? Knappogue Castle 14-year-old Twinwood. I don't know. Sounds like a prison sentence in the making. To me, I don't know. Makes me nervous. What do you say we get into it?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Welcome, dear listener, to the Savor the Burn podcast. My name is Jonathan. Across the table for me is Mr. W2. How do you do?
Doing well, and you, sir?
I'm doing good. Doing good. Better than I deserve, as Dave Ramsey would say. So it looks like tonight we're trying out the Knappogue Castle 14-year-old Twinwood single malt Irish whiskey. What all can you tell me about it?
This is another one of those bottles that I picked up as my quarterly bottle with my Flaviar subscription.
Okay.
So this is one that popped up, and so I was like, well, that sounds pretty good. 14 years, that's a minute or two, so let's try it out. And it had good reviews. I did not know a whole lot about it when I got it, but yeah, Knappogue Castle, 14-year-old twin. MSRP on this is $60. This is an Irish whiskey, so naturally, country of origin is Ireland.
Ireland.
The distillery is the Great Northern Distillery. As stated, this is aged 14 years. It is a single malt Irish whiskey and clocks in at 92 proof. 92 proof is not bad. So no, it's it's kind of that sweet spot.
Yeah.
90 plus tends to be
not to knock anything 90 and below.
Right.
But 90 plus, that's a decent range. Decent heat range. Mm-hmm. Proof.
So I pulled some notes on the distillery, and it says the Knappogue Castle was built by McNamara clan in the 15th century.
Huh.
Obviously, it's
been
around for a minute or two. Left to ruins when Mark Edwin Andrews, former Assistant Secretary of the U.S. Navy, restored this cultural landmark in 1966. Andrews also loved Irish whiskey, so he stocked his cellar with the best casks he could get. When they had reached aging perfection, they were bottled under the name of his beloved Knappogue Castle. His son Mark decided to issue releases of his father's passion to the world, beginning with the Knappogue Castle Vintage 1951, which became one of the most rare and prized whiskeys in the world, bar none. Today, the passion continues to produce some of the finest independent Irish whiskey on earth, just as Mr. Andrews had imagined. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, how often do you get the chance to buy a 15th century castle,
right,
in Ireland,
and then restore it back to kind of its
on a military
heritage.
Income? Now, sure, he was Assistant Secretary of the U.S. Navy. That's probably a really high-ranking position, but military's not known for lobbing over lumps of cash. we getting anything on the nose on this? What is this? Light amber? Oh yeah. Yeah,
it's very gold. When I was snapping a picture a minute ago, you commented on how gold it looked.
Yeah, the whole damn picture looked gold.
The tube that it comes in is trimmed with gold. It's a dark, kind of that hunter forest green with a nice light blue band on there. I think that's a nice contrast, those colors. But then gold as an accent on there. That and the gold from the bottle just makes the whole thing glow.
Yeah, I'm getting your usual notes off of an Irish whiskey. Like some apple in there. This one's got oak.
A lot of apple.
It's
definitely some oak.
Like a honey sweet, maybe.
So just reading a little bit more in here, it says, sometimes referred to as the Twin Wood, is a classic, triple distilled example of Irish single malt perfection. 80% of the whiskey is aged in ex-bourbon casks, and the rest is aged in those glorious Oloroso sherry casks.
Very cool.
The two are married and bottled after 14 years, and it is an Irish marriage made in heaven. As you would expect from a whiskey of this caliber, it is non-chill filtered, had no artificial coloring, bless them, and is bottled at a perfect 46% ABV, which is 92 proof.
It smells pretty damn amazing.
Yeah, there is a great sherry aroma coming off of this.
It's almost like
with lots and lots of apple.
Like cake icing.
Yep.
Kind of. You smell that? Like birthday cake icing? Yeah, it smells really good.
Definitely some honey. I'm picking up on that.
Yeah, the honey sweet, like the white sugar birthday cake icing, apple, light oak.
Maybe some other fruits.
Yeah, one of the stone fruits like nectarine or apricot, something in there. We'll get it on the palate.
Let's do it.
Okay.
That's a lot more wood than I was expecting.
If I had a nickel, I wouldn't have a lot of nickels. Unfortunately, # white boy problems. So this, it is surprisingly more oaky. Well, I mean, you said wood.
Yep.
Like we said very early on in the podcast, or I said anyway, I have no idea what difference in taste, like French oak, American oak, English oak, if they're, if those are all such a thing. I have no idea what the difference in oaks would do to the palate on any of these. But yeah, it's oaky, it's woody, whatever. I'm glad that's in there. It almost picks up like a little bit of a vanilla-y, caramely taste on the palate.
Not much of a burn.
No.
And no burn follows you down the throat.
Yeah. Yeah, and you do pick up on the Oloroso.
Sure.
All right. The Oloroso sherry that I'm always happy to pick up on. That's why we love our Kansas City whiskey.
I was going to say, maybe that is why I love Irish whiskey so much, is because I also love Kansas City style whiskey, and they share that commonality of, a lot of
not all Irish whiskeys do, though.
Not all, but a lot of them do use that Oloroso sherry cask finished.
This also...
Not to be confused with blending a 2% of sherry in the whiskey, which is what Kansas City whiskey is.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah, Kansas City style whiskey is the whiskey blended with 2% of the actual sherry.
Okay.
Versus this is actually matured in the cask.
Okay. Very cool. I think it adds a bit of a deeper flavor to it.
Agreed.
And as far as deep flavors go, it kind of reminds me of a Scotch, but without the smoke.
I can see that.
So the peatiness, the smoke that I call it in Scotch, it has a way of taking over the palate, even on the nose and on the finish. Like you can't really tell what's going on because all the damn smoke. But if you spend a lot of time, you can pick out those other tasting notes on them. That's just me. I do enjoy it. Whatever, Scotch is my friend. But this is all of that. This is a very tasty whiskey.
And I feel like it's been a minute since we've visited Irish whiskeys, so this is a nice...
It has been a while.
Nice, pleasant homecoming.
Yeah, I think we had some Redbreast.
Yeah, that's probably the last thing that we had, which was amazing. That was the 12-year and the 12-year cask strength.
Right. Yeah. I remember we did the Redbreast, the original, twice, but I didn't remember what we did the second go around. I like that it's non-chill filtered, so like if you did add water to it and that little particulate matter showed up, you'd be like, okay, I'm with you.
What's funny is back a few months at my birthday, Mitch gifted me a bottle from Dancing Goats, and which I was excited about, new whiskey that I hadn't tried yet.
Yeah.
And he had a disclaimer that he's like, I just want to warn you, I don't want you to freak out all this, but you'll see some things floating in this. I have drank many of these bottles, and it's good. It's okay. Maybe they just haven't, they just didn't filter it that much. Well, it also is a non-chill filtered whiskey. What that means is at some point in its travels, it was stored in cooler temperatures, which then makes the fatty contents of it materialize and give you your floaties. So
so if you take your whiskeys or your scotches or whatever and stick them in the freezer, you'll get floaties. If you add water to it, if you pour it in with an ice cube, you're gonna get floaties. Don't worry, it's
all right.
It's not mosquito larvae.
Nope.
It's not a bad thing.
It's just the flavors. I don't know if I'm speaking it into existence, but see what I did there?
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Yeah, you dropped my band name in there. I like it.
I'm looking at the tasting notes, and on the palate, along with the apple and grains and vanilla, it says and coconut.
I'm not picking up on the coconut.
Well, I'm sitting here.
You're thinking you are?
Taking sips of it, and I'm like, okay, is that power of suggestion, or am I actually picking it up?
I ate a piece of cheesecake earlier, and for whatever reason, sometimes cheesecake tastes like it's got coconut in it. I have no idea why. Yep. But every time I eat it, I'm like, fuck, coconut? No.
This bottle came in one of the cool tubes. Like I said, it's got it's trimmed with the green on the top. The metal top on there is also green. And what I think is kind of cool is the top of the canister lid has an Irish crest on there, which is also branded on the front of that bottle. And then I'm also looking too, and down the bottom of it, they've got this K for the Knappogue Castle. And if you look even closer in the green, they've actually used that K as a repeating pattern in there. So very cool. The band has looks like a lithograph image of what I can only assume is the actual castle. This is a real cork stopper. With a big chunk of probably oak, maybe, or a cherry wood.
Yeah, some kind of cherry wood.
And then they've got a portrait silhouette of Mark Edwin.
Okay.
Mark Edwin Andrews. And yeah, along with the labels on the bottle, they've got the crest printed directly on the glass in gold, and then his signature in gold down towards the bottom. Some nice little details.
Yeah, there's lots to look at here on the bottle itself, and it's got kind of it's taller than a Weller bottle, but up here when it goes from the body to the neck, it's got that slight bulb there in the neck. It kind of reminds me of Weller.
I need to write down and remember to do a little bit of research, but I'd like to research what the utility is of having that, because you see that in so many different bottles that I'm sure there's a reason and a purpose for it. But maybe
they fill it up to a certain point, and then it evaporates through the cork or whatever down to another point. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Well, we haven't gotten to them yet, but the Junction 35 whiskeys that I got from my little trip down in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, they have a similar bulb there in the neck, but like they're right there at the bottom of the bulb as far as the fluid level goes.
Yeah, when I picked up this bottle, this was a whiskey that I had never heard of. I had never had before, but now that I've had it, I don't see it everywhere, but I see it very frequently. So like Total Wine has the 10-year, the 12-year, the 14-year, the 18-year, and I've seen it at a couple other places also. Which is cool because it's a great Irish whiskey, and
it definitely is.
It's locally available.
It definitely that's really good to know too. I've seen it in a lot of the Whiskey Tribe and the Kansas City Whiskey Guild groups. Like I've seen it on their liquor shelves.
And like I said, this is the MSRP on this is $60. And if I remember correctly, I think the 12-year is like 53. And then I think when you bump up to like the 18, that's when it jumps up to around the 100 range. But I mean, heck, for $7 more, why not get the 14?
So I posted in the Whiskey Tribe. If you're a fan of the Whiskey Tribe YouTube channel, they have a group on Facebook called Whiskey Tribe. So definitely check that out if you're a fan of them and don't know about that. And if you do follow them on YouTube, definitely make sure that you stop over to the Savor the Burn page on YouTube and click subscribe on there. You never know, we might send a random prize out to a random subscriber, or maybe we're gonna have another giveaway coming soon. Who knows?
You never
I don't know
know
how we're gonna do the next one, but we had a lot of fun giving the Bar Tool cocktail kit to our friend Michelle Masato out of I think Edwardsville, Kansas. So Edwardsville, Kansas. I was very happy to get that out to her, and she was stoked. She was stoked, man. She's definitely looking forward to using it. She said maybe this weekend I'll use it to make a Savor the Burn old fashioned.
Awesome.
I'm like, fuck yeah. High five.
Well,
So-
what's cool is she comes out to our shows.
Yeah, and she's a photog,
Yep.
videographer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're familiar with her. She's definitely familiar with us. So it couldn't have been won by a better person. So like I was saying, I posted it in the Whiskey Tribe. Said I haven't tried this one. You know, have you thoughts? And Adrian says, I've said it a few times, but Knappogue Castle is the best bang for your buck for Irish whiskeys. The 12 is delicious while only being 43%. That 14 is 46%, I believe. I would think it's very good, but haven't tried it. So no, he hasn't tried this one, but he has tried the 12, and he said it's delicious. So Adrian, you got to get out there. You got to get this 14, try it out. Philip says, no, you tell us. Sorry, Philip. I'll give you my thoughts on the Savor the Burn podcast. I haven't responded yet, but I'm going to. Like, no, I haven't. I'll give you my thoughts on the Savor the Burn podcast, but I'm, right now you're my guinea pigs. You're my test group. James said, I actually like the 12 better than the 14.
All right.
Lamar says Knappogue Castle is great. So yeah, we got some good feedback on the Whiskey Tribe.
Excellent.
So yeah, we got some good commentary, some good thoughts from the Whiskey Tribe. But that's their thoughts. What are our thoughts? What are your thoughts? What did you get on the nose?
I gave it a 4 1/4.
Dude, you know what? So did I.
Yeah. Fantastic nose. I mean,
so good. I mean, there was plenty there. The ethanol in the spirit did not burn my nose that much. It was just like, hey, what's up? And I smelled like cake and fucking birthday cake icing or whatever it was. Maybe a little stone fruit on the palate.
That cherry, apricot, some honey.
The honey. Yeah.
And it's Irish whiskey, so there's a lot of green apple.
And a lot of that carried over into the palate.
Yep.
Which the palate I gave 4.5.
I gave the palate a 4.
Just straight 4?
Just straight 4.
How about the finish?
I gave the finish. The finish was not bad at all. I love the fact that there was no burn.
Uh-huh.
A lot of those flavors just kind of lingered a little bit as they tapered off. But it was really nothing wow factor-wise. So I gave it 3 3/4.
Okay. I really liked the finish. Like you said, it didn't wow me, but I was definitely happy it happened. Mm-hmm. Like the whole thing is really good. Bottle presentation, I gave a 4.5.
I gave it a 4.5.
All right. I think going back to the Booker's episode when it's in the wooden box with the sliding glass cover on the front, and it's got the neck cradle in there and a black wax dip neck, the whole thing. It's like if there was ever a 5, it's this.
Yeah. I was talking with my friend Kyle the other day, and similar, we were talking about the wax dipped necks and how cool they look, and we both kind of shared that neither one of us are big fans of Maker's Mark.
Right.
Maker's Mark is known for that red wax dip.
The red wax drip down.
The problem I have with the Maker's Mark red wax dip is they bury the little pull tab so deep that most of the time you can't find it, and you end up just kind of having to gnaw or chisel away to get into the bottle.
Or be like me and snap your fingernails back.
Right. That said,
Story of my life.
The Bookers that you mentioned, Knob Creek is also the same way, and there's several others that do that, but they put the pull tab on there, and they actually make sure the end of the pull tab is sticking out and gets wax dipped kind of erect a little bit, which just makes it a nice, easy pull.
Yep.
And so you can appreciate the wax dip seal while it not complicating getting to the whole reason why you have the bottle.
Right. Yeah. It's always easier to grab and pull when it's erect.
Right.
Hey-o.
Family show.
Family show.
Oh, shit.
Well, so with my 4 1/4 and 4 1/2 and 4 1/2, and that brought it up to a number, and I divided that in 2, and I got an 8.5 overall.
All right. I ended with 8 1/4.
Yeah, we are. Whoops, not 8.22. We're not taking. Who was it that had the 2.2? Was it your sister? And the
or Chandler?
Or Chandler? Yeah, the two of them. They got a wild hair.
I'll give it a 3.999723345.
I'm like, all right, these two, they've had enough for one day. You're cut off,
motherfucker.
Well, one of them you're related to. The other one you brought in here at your own free will. Still can't believe I paid him. Well, I said it's a very tasty Irish whiskey with a familiar taste of Oloroso sherry that we find in our KC bourbons and whiskeys. At 92 proof, this whiskey is sure to delight friends and family.
I like it.
Yeah, and those are your thoughts?
Those are my thoughts.
Those are your thoughts. I like it. 3 words, simple, sweet. Any final comments? No, you already told me.
Yeah, I like it.
I like it. Yeah.
No, this is a great drinker. When this bottle gets down to the end, this is one I will definitely keep on my list of repeats.
Yeah,
because it's the price is great.
Yeah, what was the price?
$60.
$60. Yeah.
And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm pretty sure I've seen it for less than that at Total Wine. So that is the Flaviar price.
Okay. Yeah. So if you show up to a party with the Knappogue Castle 14-year single malt Irish whiskey, it's going to be a I don't know, lack of a better term, fan favorite, because anybody that likes Irish whiskey probably likes it because of the apple across everything.
Yep.
and how it's usually sweeter than other whiskeys. This is really stupid good. It's really good. It got high marks from the both of us, and I'd say definitely bring it to your next party, or just grab the bottle for you and yours.
Yep.
Yeah,
I might be inclined to get a little adventurous and based on that comment on the Whiskey Tribe, maybe pick up the 12-year and compare.
I mean, God forbid it's better.
Maybe, I know they've got an 18, and I feel like that they also have a 16. So, depending on what those price points are, it might be a fun, try to bump up one.
Yeah, I was talking about Scotch earlier. One of my favorites is the Glenfiddich or Glenfiddich 12. I like it better than the Glenfiddich 14.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. It's either 12 and 14 or 14 and 16.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which one it is, but I like the one with a little less age.
And there's something to be said about that. There is a reason why Redbreast, their standard is a 12-year.
12 years, it's magic.
Yeah.
Just like with American bourbons and whiskeys, if you age them for at least 7 or 8 years, it's like a sweet spot for me anyway. Yeah. I really like it. So, dear listener, thank you for listening to the Savor the Burn podcast. Thank you for following along on all of our socials. I'm sure by now you've had a good time watching all of our reels as far as the Advent calendar goes on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. Be sure to hit like and subscribe on anything and everything, and drop us a comment. Leave us an email. Send us an email, Jonathan@savortheburn.com, W2@savortheburn.com, or just a general email, info@savortheburn.com. And as always, no matter what you're doing, who you are, who you're with, always remember to keep on burning.